Hey there, this is the One Boom, and Treyarch is knocking it out of the park with pre-launch information coming from our beta feedback. Holy God, I don't think I have a single thing left to complain about when it comes to my opinions of Black Ops 7 after its beta, except for the fact that they still haven't removed the cluster grenade, and that thing will irritate me just by existing. In all seriousness, before I get launching into this video, I want to say two things. One, my last video was about open matchmaking and persistent lobbies and how that's going to shake up Call of Duty for a lot of newer fans. The algorithm is being very nice to it and I want it to do well, so please go ahead and watch it. It'll be linked at the end of this video. And also, this video is informally sponsored by COD Skins, a great little website to buy all those Monster, Razor, promotional skins and double XP tokens without having to go track down expensive Razor products or way too much Monster energy. I'm going to be using this website to give away codes throughout Black Ops 7's launch months. I want to do 1v1s with my subscribers and they can duke it out to get Razor codes or Monster codes for whatever game they want. And the only thing he's asking in return to give me codes, which he's already given me several, is just to do this. Share his website. He's a cool guy. I've used his website before. It's a good way to get your hands on some cosmetics and things that you otherwise normally wouldn't want to spend too much time tracking down. So head on over. I have him linked in the comment section below and the description. Go ahead, go over there, tell him I sent you. And let's get into this. All right, so I know a lot of YouTubers have talked about this, but it's worth talking about. That's why everyone's talking about this right now. And I'm going to be doing a separate video about some of my concerns, because while I don't have anything else to complain about, that doesn't mean my anxiety isn't triggered by a little bit of some of this stuff. We'll talk about that in a second. So, Matt Schranz did a video for Treyarch talking about their changes after the beta. And this includes ADS dexterity changes, aim assist adjustments, louder footsteps, new slide tuning. That's gonna be a fun comment section to read about. Perk distribution, perk combinations, and faster mantle speeds. So first things first, ADS while sliding, diving, and wall jumping is now the default in Black Ops 7. You can still equip dexterity for maximum fluidity, similar to Black Ops 6, but you will not need it to aim down sight in all of these different situations. This is huge. Black Ops 7 really pushed the movement forward and is trying to also tune the movement in a little bit. Black Ops 6 has some issues. Black Ops 7 is obviously seeking to improve those while adding new gimmicks, but tying the simple ability of aiming down your sight while jumping off a wall, which is a mechanic they're showing off so heavily in all the game's promotional materials. It's like this game's weird movement gimmick, which I really like, but tying that to a perk was the wrong move and they're righting that wrong. That's awesome. More on movement. My video about slow handling and mantling speeds, I guess, paid off. I'm gonna guess my video is the sole reason any of this has been improved, so you guys are welcome. But they're increasing the mantling speeds, which is great. Black Ops 7's movement is very fast and fluid, and it didn't make any sense that it still had the same old Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 6 mantle speeds. So that is now a thing of the past, and I am happy to hear it. Again, you guys are welcome. The next thing is that the footsteps in the beta were very quiet, way too quiet. Don't let anyone tell you they were just fine. They were way too quiet. Every streamer, content creator, YouTuber, every casual player that I talked to could tell they were way too quiet. You'd have enemies running up to you. And if it wasn't like on a metal grate and the game was kind of quiet and you weren't talking and you weren't listening to your friends talk or you weren't listening to music, then maybe you'd hear them. But I had so many times that if my character was in a patch of dirt behind cover and an enemy was running up on my cover, even without ninja, I would not hear them, and that's not okay. Call of Duty has perks if you want to be completely stealthy, and I cannot believe that that has to be explained to people. I know you'd love to just slide around with all of the fastest speed perks and not worry about your footsteps, but I'm sorry. This is Call of Duty. You want that to be your playstyle? You gotta build for it. And the footsteps were so quiet in the beta, you couldn't tell if somebody was downstairs while you were upstairs or vice versa. Sometimes in the same room as you. Sometimes just, again, running up to you in a patch of grass or dirt was almost impossible to hear. So I'm really happy with that. I also do hope they add some more sounds for people doing wall jumps without ninja, because I feel like you should be a little bit penalized for jumping up into my power position if you aren't running ninja, like the perk that's designed to flank and catch people off guard. I feel like there should be a pretty satisfying kerthunk when you jump off of a wall, but that's maybe just me. They're also changing perks around because some of the tiers were so loaded on perks, and they have fixed a lot of this. So now Tech Mask is going to slot 2, so you can now have Flak Jacket and Tech Mask. Scavenger is also going to slot 2, so you don't have to give up Scavenger to have Ghost. That makes a lot of sense, thank God. And Cold Blooded is in tier 3, which is great, which now With a wild card, we can have Ghost, Ninja, and Cold-Blooded. That should always be a thing. In every Call of Duty game that has these perks, I should be able to combine them to make a stealth loadout if I want to dedicate my playstyle that direction. Also, there was no reason for the perk that just keeps you off of like AI detecting streaks or like thermals. That should not be in the same tier as Ninja and Ghost and Lightweight. Also, Looper is going from slot 2 to 3, which means you can't combine it with Bankroll without using a wild card, which is smart. As much as I love how much easier it is to get streaks in Black Ops 7, it was a little too easy, and Bankroll and Looper being in the same category means you have to use a wild card to combine them, and I feel like that's more than balanced. And Tac Sprinter went from slot 3 to slot 1. Basically, if you want to have a forward, aggressive, opening rush playstyle, that's a tier 1 decision. That replaces Ghost, that replaces Ninja. You want to be in the enemy spawn as fast as possible, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices, and I think that is a good change. They're also combining perks, and this is amazing. Now, Shadow and Engineer are the same perk, so the perk that keeps you from setting off placed equipment now allows you to see that equipment. So Engineer is now both countering the equipment you can see and allowing you to see it and spot it. That's awesome. Vendetta, which showed you the position of your last enemy, and Assassin, which gives you bonus score for killing your rival, for killing people that just killed you, for killing somebody on a streak. Like, this is literally the perk for targeting a single player. They mentioned that in their little video. That's awesome. With open matchmaking, there's something about this that I need to talk about for a second, so sorry if it makes the video long. A Vendetta Assassin combination perk like this is going to literally make it so that you have a perk to counter one person, to counter the person that's the best on that enemy team and give them a disadvantage. And with open matchmaking and persistent lobbies, this is going to be interesting. When you have a rivalry against somebody, throwing on Assassin will actually be kind of funny because you will be able to keep track of that guy that keeps fucking you up every match. And I'm sorry, I don't know, maybe if I'm just being short-sighted on this, but I think that's actually really a unique little gameplay interaction. Having that open matchmaking and having non-disbanding lobbies with this Assassin Vendetta combination perk, that's fantastic. So I had to mention that. I think that's really cool. I didn't see a lot of reasons to run Vendetta or Assassin in the beta, but now it feels like a much meatier perk that's gonna at least go on one of my classes. Now, Bruiser and Close Shave are combined, and hell yeah. Bruiser was giving you bonus score and health regen for melee kills, and Close Shave turns your melee normal attack, your butt of the gun attack, into an actual one-hit melee with your dedicated melee weapon. So we can Panic Knife and actually be rewarded for it by running Close Shave, and I think, again, that's special. You have to decide to run that perk, you have to sacrifice things to run that perk, but it now is going to be great for melee builds, and it might be a really good way to counter people sliding around if you have that equipped, because they slide into you, just give them a quick little one tap, and teach them to keep their distance, which used to, by the way, slow down gameplay in general. People used to play Call of Duty slower, and one of the reasons wasn't just like movement or map design. A lot of it was because panic knifing was always a thing, and you can do that now, and you're rewarded for panic knifing, and of course you should be. You're using an entire perk to do it. Makes sense. Again, I would have never ran those perks separately, but now, maybe. Also, Hunter's Instinct, which shows you the general location of your next enemy after you kill somebody. So basically it gives you a little ping on the mini-map, like where enemies are going to be to your sort of left or right or whatever. It's pretty vague, but also pretty useful, especially in my opinion, if you're a sniper, you get a kill and you can immediately tell where you should be pre-aiming next. It's pretty good. It's going to be combined with Tracker, the perk that pings people automatically and allows you to see their footprints. So now that is a full situational awareness perk, and you know what? I'm kind of all here for it. I think on a lot of my beginner classes, I'm going to tell people to run Tracker. Like if you are playing solo, you don't have any backup, and you don't trust yourself to get UAVs consistently, that's a really strong perk. And now, a big one, Quartermaster and Gearhead are the same thing. Quartermaster being the perk that charges up your lethal and tactical over time, and Gearhead being the thing that gives you faster charge times on your field upgrades. If you're an equipment guy, this is perfect. It's also now a tier 1 perk, so this is a playstyle defining perk. But with Perk Greed, you could have Gearhead, Flak Jacket, Tac Mask, and Guardian. The perk that allows you to have better health regeneration on objectives. So you could be an absolute equipment throwing support tank with this. Like using an assault pack, smoke grenades, that perk combination on domination is going to be ridiculous. You're going to be one of the most helpful people on your team for free. not for free. It's your entire perk setup. This is Call of Duty. It's not for free. Those are your perks. That's important. And the last big thing I really need to talk about here is the aim assist changes they're going to be making. Currently in Call of Duty, your left stick activates aim assist rotation, which it's been doing since like COD 3. Yeah, it's normal. It makes Call of Duty feel as intuitive as it does on controller, and it's been one of the major reasons Call of Duty is so pick up and play, even for people that aren't, you know, FPS gods. But versus mouse and keyboard, it can lead to some disadvantages, even though in their findings, they mentioned this in the video, their findings are basically what anybody who knew ball already knew. Mouse and keyboard is winning slightly more engagements at range, and controller is winning slightly more engagements in close range. And yeah, that's about right. Close range is easier when your aiming stick literally is the diameter of a dime, and you just have to move it within that dime-sized diameter, versus having a whole mouse pad where you have to like drag a mouse from one corner of it to the next, or flick it over and over again to get a fast turn. Close range combat on mouse and keyboard has always been disadvantaged compared to controller, and aim assist only made that better, and a little bit too much better. In fact, I don't think aim assist rotation really has a place in Call of Duty unless the person is, I don't know, directly in your like iron sights. I don't think there's a reason to have it other than that, but the way they're looking at fixing this is by making it so that the player has to also put an input in on their right stick. And I have a lot of opinions about this, but I like the idea that you have to be aiming towards your enemy for rotational to kick in at all. Basically, you can't be like minding your own business, moving, like walking around, having somebody walk into your crosshair and immediately start being tracked by you before you've even started looking towards them. I agree that that is a good change. I also don't like it. Like, I like it and I don't. Aim assist needs a change. Aim assist needs a tweak. It needs a nerf. I know that. I don't even like rotation all the time because it can really fuck you up. But that sounds like dual input. It sounds like I'm going to start walking around, see an enemy, start aiming towards them while I'm still moving my feet, you know, to make myself a harder to hit target. And also left stick aiming is a huge deal on controller. And I'm going to start aiming towards them and then my rotation's going to kick in. And I feel like that might be really jarring, at the very least to get used to, but maybe just in general, be a very unintuitive control method. So a couple things here. I hope they tweak this and tune it really properly. I hope they don't just like do a band-aid fix for launch. I don't want aim assist to be garbage at launch, and now I'm a little concerned that it's gonna be bad. And I'm not saying bad as in too weak or not useful and helpful in aiming for me enough. No, I just mean like unintuitive and garbagey. I am more okay with a just reduction to the sensitivity of rotation, a requirement of more precision for rotation. Like you only get rotation as long as they're in your center dot or in your center iron sight. I'm cool with that, but I feel like there's so many ways to cheese this. I can make an entire other video about it, and you know what? I'm going to, because this video will go on to 17 minutes if I talk about it here. Trust me, I've tried to fit it into this video, and it takes like 17 minutes. I'm out of breath and angry by the end of it, so we'll do a whole dedicated video on my concerns on this. But I'm happy, because they're working on it, they're tweaking it, they're fixing it. This is awesome. While I do think mouse and keyboard is really powerful, the strength of aim assist in Call of Duty has created this weird narrative that even if you're an amazing mouse and keyboard player, you have no chance against a good controller player. And it's just, I don't think that's very true. Even without aim assist, one is going to have advantages in one area over the other, and I look forward to seeing how they tweak this. But again, I'll talk more about aim assist in a separate video. I could rant about this forever. As somebody who's played a lot of COD with a lot of aim assist and played a lot of COD and shooters with mouse and keyboard, I have a lot to say here. But in general, this is a massive, massive update. Footsteps, slide tuning, aim assist, dexterity, perk combinations, perk distribution, mantle. And they have more to come. They have more to talk about when it comes to progression and these aim assist changes before launch. So still before launch, get excited, get ready. I feel like a lot of people don't take the time and soak in the hype before a COD game, right? I know things seem dire right now if you're only on Twitter, but if you look at player numbers, if you look at communities, there's still a lot of us out there that get really hyped for new COD, and I feel like it's good to soak in this feeling of anticipation and information. Like, we're gonna miss looking forward to more information about Black Ops 7 as time goes on. Like, launch is gonna hit us like a truck, and then by the end of Christmas, into January, we're gonna be missing these times where we were like, oh my god, what are they adding? What were they gonna change about aim assist? You know, this is fun. This is exciting for me as a content creator. And as a kid who just, you know, always played COD, you know, it is always triggers a Christmas morning level excitement for me, and I get to share that with you guys, which is awesome. So let me know what you think down below, and don't forget to check out the links I posted and click on this video here at the end. I worked hard on it, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, bell icon, get notified when I live stream. I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.